publish. And today we have Dhruv Menon, who has written a beautiful book based on technology. And over to Dhruv. Can you please introduce yourself and talk a bit about your book?
Sure, I'll be happy to. So, I'm Dhruv Menon. I'm currently an undergraduate student pursuing systems biology at Laksha University, which is into sustainability engineering and developing new technologies for the unknowable future. As we now to know today, we are currently approaching the planetocene, which is an era where there are technologies which are required to be harnessed to ensure that we can combat the effects of climate change and other natural forces, in addition to meeting our own anthropogenic needs. In this environment, I've written a scientific book chapter, which looks at scientific perspectives and existential philosophy perspectives on how we can think about this planetocene and the uncertainty associated with it before we develop our technologies using the scientific principles that are well established. So, if I just have to give a synopsis of how my book goes, I first present studies from, let's say, the IUPAC and different established organizations on climate change, which show projected temperature changes and their feedback effects on the planet as a whole. And then I move on to explaining how how different sciences look at uncertainty so that we can understand how that works, starting from quantum indeterminacy all the way to understanding experiments in the brain of how entanglement works, and finally bridging that gap to the environment by looking at how this chaos, which is happening due to the uncertainty in the initial conditions, is connected to this quantum indeterminacy, and therefore how we can move forward in terms of how we can start to think more holistically in terms of our planet, not just as a tool for extracting resources, but more like a mother on how she takes care of her children, and how it's interconnected, how it's an interconnected system across scales, both spatial scales, when you look at macroscopic, microscopic, quantum, everything, and you look at time scales. So you have the evolutionary time scales of animals versus human time scales, right? So how everything is connected and how we should move forward with, instead of a deterministic, I know everything approach, more like a playful based experimental approach is what I conclude finally. So yeah.
That's so wonderful and insightful. We've had these books which talk about quantum leap and how the nature and the human life is integrated, and how we have to learn to coexist. And coming from such a young boy like you, is amazing. So Dhruv, you talked about your book, the message it has. Tell me, when you got to know that there is a event going for on pre-published platform for you to write, and there was a time frame also, to write these books. So, how did you balance your writing journey? Is this your first book that you have written and published? And how did
Yes.
you feel, once you had completed and published and got your book?
Yeah. So, firstly, answering your first question. So, this is my first book. And actually, if I be very honest, before this as well, I was pursuing writing. I was planning on how this book would look like. Uh, but unfortunately, due to some reasons, it was not able to get
Published.
authorized. But with this competition, really helped me because I was able to, since I had 3 months, I could plan it out that, okay, even if I put 10 minutes per day into this, right? So that gives me, let's say, 180 days. Even if I put just 10 minutes per day, that's 1,800 minutes, right? So that's like how much? 30 hours worth of work, right? Going into it. So by that plan, I was able to sort of integrate all my thoughts together, and also the writing interface of the app was very great because it feels like you're reading a book on a screen, right? You can
Absolutely.
turn the pages. So
It
yeah,
was
I
helpful.
just try to capture my, yeah. And about your second question, how I felt after writing the book and seeing the physical copy in my hand, I felt very great. Yeah, thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dhruv, and I wish you all the good luck for continuing to write and create awareness. These ripple of thoughts are very very important for not just youth. I think for everyone on this planet, and I wish you uh, best of luck for your writing journey. Congratulations once again for winning this challenge of writing. And on this note, I'll wrap up today's podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.